Welcome back to Conscious TV with Tom and Ramon and Pam. One more thing I want to go over we didn't cover in the first hour. Ramon and I do work for a living, and so we work on a donation basis. So anything you guys can drop our way is greatly appreciated to offset the cost of the radio show and the website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
so,
I'd like to say to everybody listening, especially from our SETI family, that what you and Ramon are doing, Tom, is so important. It's what I wish more people would do. Anyone can have a voice right now, and it takes a lot of courage and dedication to do that, and people should recognize that and contribute and support you guys in your work, and also consider doing the same thing themselves. The more we all do to share this important information and share the awakening process that we're all going through, it's the sharing that allows us all to get closer to becoming who we really are. So I'm so grateful to you guys for doing this, and everybody support them in their work.
You know, Ramona, we are no different than anybody else walking around doing it, working, 5 days a week and making a living, trying to make ends meet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, trying to figure out what's going on in the world. And, I mean, neither of us have any, radio or broadcasting expertise or experience or schooling or, well, actually, Ramon, didn't you do something in high school?
In college, I did, like a house music radio show, but I still don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to consider myself.
Go
ahead, Pam.
Oh, I was going to say, abundance follows when you start sharing. I know, Tom, you just had something happen.
Well, during the first hour, you guys probably heard that phone ring right towards the end of the first hour. Well, yesterday, I put this little pontoon boat that I happened to come across for a really good deal last week. I got it Thursday, and I put it up on Craigslist yesterday. And right during the interview there, the first hour, got the phone call. The guy said, "I want to buy it." So I made $300 on the deal, and I'm just like happy as a clam.
Yeah. Abundance does come when you're doing this work. I know here at ESETI, many of you may or may not know that we have been going through challenges here from the powers that want to be, as Mel Fabregas likes to say, trying to shut us down. And these county officials have been harassing us for over a year now. We've been trying to deal with it on our own. They even have gone so far as to say we don't have the right to reside in the house that we live in, despite permits on file. So we've been harassed, and in order to fight this and resolve it, you have to have money and hire an attorney, and we've depleted our resources trying to fight this battle on our own, and we put the call out 48 hours ago for help with our legal fees, because we do have a winnable case. And within 48 hours, we raised $15,000. I think we're just a couple $100 away right now to our legal defense fund, so that ESETI can continue doing this work.
Very nice.
And it's incredible the energy and the resources that have been sent in such a short period of time. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, and it's just another demonstration of the abundance that follows in helping us to resolve this situation. People have stepped up and sent so much energy, which we feel here. It's just incredible. And I have to say thank you to everyone, and I really feel like we can do this and continue our work, because what they're doing is not right, and we can prove that. So that's going to happen, and we'll be able to continue doing our conferences and classes and workshops once this is all resolved, and so that's happening now, and it's amazing.
One of the reason why, Pam, you were able to raise that so easily is because that place, ESETI, is such a important place for us. For example, if it wasn't for ESETI, this show would never exist.
That's right.
And I'm sure a lot of people who've been there have gone on to do other things and changed life completely.
Well, that's where Ramon and I met.
Yeah,
it is. I remember when you both of your first times here. So it's incredible that James has opened up this place 25 years ago. He's tried to do it all himself, and this gathering of people here and the community that's been formed through the process is incredible. And all he wants to do is continue to share the truth about who we really are. And that is happening now more than ever. And if you go to our fundraising page, which you can find at our website, ESETI.org, you'll see 200 comments from people who have donated about their experiences here and sending their wishes and love and energy. And it is overwhelming and very emotional for all of us to feel that support. And we are a large family, all of us, and we are all connected. And it's just very exciting, and it shows me that all of us together can make change. Together we can do almost anything, and people stepping into their power in that way and realizing that just leads to more positive change in the world. And, we had a hard time asking for support in light of all of the things happening right now in the world, and it was difficult for us, and it really flowed. In less than 48 hours, $15,000 is absolutely incredible in this state of things, because as we all know, spiritual people are broke. Because we don't care so much about material things and money and all of that. So it's I know that people had to dig deep to do that, and my gratitude I could never convey in words. It's just amazing. And one exciting announcement I'd like to make for the first time, we haven't announced this publicly at all, on you guys' show, I'd like to tell everybody that there will be a conference this year. We're doing it renegade. It is a little renegade because these issues are not resolved, but so we're taking a little risk, although our attorney thinks that we can get it resolved before the conference date. But we're doing it no matter what. And since they're not listening to this program, I can tell you that it will be June 24th through the 27th, Friday through Monday, and we have a whole new lineup of speakers. It's going to be called the Awareness and Transformation Conference. We have the amazing Bob Dean, who does not speak very often. We have Carol Rosin. We have Neil Kramer, who I can't recommend highly enough. Google him, listen to his work.
Amazing.
He's new on the scene for a lot of people, but he is an amazing person. We'll have Seafood Jenny Lamb, James Gilliland. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but if you're interested in attending the conference, you can email me at esetievents@gmail.com. It will not be posted on our website. We'll be sending out emails to people who have previously attended workshops or conferences. It'll be $2.99, and we're also going to do a live stream of the event, and that'll be $52.80 in honor of the 528 frequency.
Nice.
Keep it affordable for people who cannot travel and come to stay here. We're just beyond excited for this event. A lot of the previous speakers will be attending, but perhaps not speaking. And it is going to be an amazing, transformative gathering. I feel the energy and the momentum building for it already. And I hope everybody will join us. Any other events? We are planning other events this summer, but we can't post them on our website right now, but you can email us for details on that. And we're just going a little bit renegade here until this gets resolved, because we cannot stop our work. We need to continue. It's making a difference. And in the meantime, we're doing a lot of live stream meditations. They're free, and we announce those frequently. We'll be going to once a week starting next week. And we're doing a lot of counseling. A lot of people calling, asking for help as they go through their awakening. It's very difficult to go through this process without support, and we want to provide that support to people so that they don't feel alone in the process, because they're not. And we are here, and there are many others. I know for you guys, you've experienced the bonding that takes place here with people sharing and supporting one another. It creates...
it's absolutely amazing to be able to go to a place like that and speak what's in your heart and in your mind without judgment.
Yes.
It's absolutely, I mean, it's one of the only places I've ever been where I've been able to walk up into a crowd of complete strangers and start talking about the things I talk about, you know?
Yeah.
And have people nod and go, yeah, and go, wow, instead of going, you're a freak. What the hell? You want something or what? You know?
Right.
Yeah. Or that was a cloud, man.
And we're open when we're not having an event. April 1st, we reopen to the public. You can contact us, make a reservation, come camp here. We do have some rooms available by donation, and we do sky watches. I'm going to start doing orientations every Friday and Saturday to orient people here to the land, let people share their experiences and their stories so that they have a chance to connect and be heard, and then let go of their story, which is very important. People get very attached to their story, and it is important to share it, but then let go and open yourself up to new experiences. And so we'll be doing those orientations as well as our spontaneous Qigong classes, and Sun Tuk is going to be teaching Qigong in the mornings. And so we welcome anyone who'd like to come and see the ships and do the inner exploration and have an opportunity to connect with nature and the land, because this is the most beautiful 70 acres I've ever been on. And so it's an hour and a half from Portland. It's an easy and beautiful drive, and we really are looking forward to reopening again this season and continuing to share experiences with each other. It's going to be a great season. So yeah.
I'm hoping I can get out there.
Yeah, me too.
Either that, or I need to master bilocation by the.
That's coming. Bilocation coming soon. Some of us maybe sooner than others. I know Khan has mastered that ability. It's much to his surprise initially, but it is possible. So
he was saying to me that he can't do it on call.
No, yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah, that's why it surprised him when it did start happening. I think it's a surprise to him each time, but he has had many experiences with bilocation. So.
I'm sorry. Coming to inside a snowbank would kind of freak me out a little bit.
Yeah. And you all can go back and listen to the show with Tom and Ramon and Khan, I'm sure, on your archives to hear more about that. I received a lot of transmissions from that show, especially the second hour.
Nice.
I love hearing him share. That was a great show, and he hasn't been interviewed before on radio as far as I know. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm really glad. I'm really glad that my friend Reiko was able to
translate
to help. Yeah, to translate to help us with the show.
Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How you doing? If you're listening.
Tom calls her Rachel.
I screwed her name up so many times during that interview.
Yeah, it is. There's transmissions, and a lot of these great beings, teachers like Khan and Jenny. I know Jenny has a DVD out called Spontaneous Qigong for Self-Healing, and she demonstrates these arts in a DVD. Her website's easterninternalarts.com. The DVD is incredible for students that can't get out to a workshop or a class. I highly recommend it. There is a transmission in the DVD, especially when she's sharing the spontaneous practice. It is possible for us to heal ourselves. And the way that she shares is very powerful, so check that out as well. You should have her on the show, too.
Yeah, we do need to get her on the show.
Yeah, and again, she'll be here at the conference. And at the conference, it's going to be interesting because she's gone through a transformation herself since coming here to the ranch. When I first started studying with Jenny, I would ask her about the higher beings, and she wouldn't talk about it. She said, don't worry about that. Don't focus on that. Focus on the healing yourself, purifying your heart, and she was very closed about talking about that. She came here and had a number of experiences, and I'll let her share some experiences that she had recently with the higher beings, and she's going to talk for 2 hours about contact with the higher beings. And I don't know exactly what will be included in that talk, but I know it's a first for us, and we know her quite well. I've talked to her, at length about some of the experiences she's had recently, but I'm so looking forward to hearing this talk because she is definitely masterful, and she is now focused primarily on healing and doing healing work. So she's going to be doing private sessions, and she's donating her time as a benefit for the ranch. It's a unique opportunity. I know that's part of the reason why she released the DVD, so people could get the workshop and the practices that way. And she's moving more towards doing the healing work because that's what she's been guided to do by the higher beings. As we move into this shift, she sees an urgency in helping people to break through barriers and purify the heart, focus on compassion, and understanding our relationship to these other dimensional realities. And to hear her speak at length about that is going to be phenomenal.
She's also been in a few movies, right, back in the 70s?
Yeah, she's got some clips on her website, and it's amazing. She was she's a child prodigy in a way with these arts. She was selected as one of the first female students by her teacher, and she learned swords and Louis Baffat. She does many, many arts. But yeah, she was in a lot of movies. She's been on the Discovery Channel. She's a Buddhist teacher and lecturer. She's many, many things, but mostly she's just amazing, and I admire her very much. So anybody that gets a chance to check her out, at least go to her website. There's a lot of good information there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. As far as your you had one experience, and I don't know if you want to talk about it, but I think it's important to talk about it because of your reaction to it.
Okay.
I'm going to try to give you hints, so if you want to talk about it, you can without saying what it was.
Oh, go for it, yeah.
It was one night, and I heard a story from, I believe, Son or Nate told me the story, where you stepped outside, you have like a little balcony, and you stepped outside, and you were visited by someone who wasn't very nice, a being that wasn't...
Yeah. It was a test, I believe. When you start connecting with these higher beings, when you start to see through the veil, you may see things that you don't like or that feel frightening or fearful. And like Jenny always says, if you can see them, they can see you, and you better be ready to handle that. Otherwise, it's best not to look because you need to be prepared. And what happened to me during sort of a key phase in my process was, and this is very physical in many ways, a reptilian being, very large, very ominous, and the energy of it was, there aren't any words, but it did initially inspire some fear in me. But I regathered myself, and what happened was this reptilian being came in. I heard it right in front of me. I started to have a fear reaction, and I felt it pushing in towards my solar plexus. And I regathered myself at that time, and I pushed back, and I said no. And I claimed my space, and I cleared it away. I claimed my space with power. You have no right to be here. And it moved out of my space. Now, one of the things that I learned from one of my teachers was that a lot of times if you cannot see, I couldn't see the legs or the feet, the lower half of the body. It could be a test. It's some sort of a test, and it was. I felt it was, but it was a very intense experience. I don't talk about it a lot because, number one, it's pretty incredible, and number two, I try not to focus too much on that aspect of the lower forms in the dimensional beings, the grays, reptilians, all of that. But we do have tests, and I consider that a form of etheric or psychic attack in a way. But for me, I feel like it was a lesson to see where I'm really at with this. Do I have the knowingness to claim my space? Do I feel empowered enough to hold my space and not allow anything to enter into that space without my permission? And I think it's really, the clearing process. It happened in a flash of a moment for me, and the clearing is sending love, but also claiming your space. And that was something. That was a big test for me, and it gave me a lot more confidence in my wholeness in this process. That no other lower life form, I don't want to call it lower, but none of these energies, negative influences, can come in and disrupt where I'm at if I don't allow it. A lot of people call us having experiences with psychic attacks or beings coming into them, and I think that we do clearings for these people. We do transpersonal release sessions, but a lot of times, not a lot, some of the times, what happens is people get attached to these experiences, even if they're negative, and they allow these energies to come into their space. Perhaps it's feeding them in some way that makes them feel special. It makes them feel maybe even superior to others, that they're having these visitations and these visions and experiences. But you have to claim your space, and you have to decide that that's not an option, that you decide how you experience your energy. People who do get attached to these experiences, it's almost impossible to help them if they don't really, truly have the intent to heal. And that's an important aspect that we try to share with people here, is that intent to heal must be present in order to move through this process. Without it, you'll continue to go through the same cycles again and again and again. And the other part of it is, just because you have a vision or you're seeing something or feeling energy, it doesn't mean it's enlightened. It doesn't mean that it's good or positive or something beneficial to you. You're tested constantly, and it's like a moth to a flame when someone is waking up. These beings, these other forms of energy, lower dimensional energies, will come in to test you, or they'll come in for healing. They're attracted to the light, and many of them want the healing, and they don't really know how to go about it. So energetically, they're feeling this energy, and they're attracted to it, or you are being tested. It is also possible for scalar weaponry and psychotronics to create these holographic experiences for people, and it does feel different. And as you increase your sensitivity, you'll be able to tell the difference. But it's best to not get attached to having these kinds of contact experiences, in my view. If they happen, allow to happen, but don't be tricked. I know Sun and I, in some of our energetic work together that we do, we have been tested many times. It'll come in with beautiful colors, visions, smells even, that really attract you and that draw you in. And it could be a trick, so you have to ask. Do you come in the name of the Christ? Do you come in my highest and best good? And ask that, claim that. And usually there will be a retreat of these energies if they don't come in your highest and best good. So just because people are having visions or voices talking to them, you really need to be very discerning in the energies that you're choosing to get attached to or worked with. And I say, don't even get attached to higher beings coming in, because yes, they have wisdom to share, and these spontaneous experiences do happen, but I firmly believe that they are aspects of ourselves, and that our higher self is the most powerful teacher. And connecting with that and with source energy, to me, as I go through this process, is more powerful than having a being, even if it's a benevolent being coming in. There are times when that's truly amazing, but you really have to be discerning in that.
Yeah, I was going to say that they are the darker or the lower entities are pretty proficient at deception too. So
very, yeah.
That
oh yeah.
One statement, the initial statement or question is, "Are you of the light? Are you
yes.
of my highest and best good?"
Yes.
That question is imperative.
It is.
When you start having any kind of contact, especially to people just waking up. If you don't know, well, you better have your discernment feelers on big time if you don't know.
That's right. And when people are just starting to wake up, much as the story I told in hour one when those psychic attacks came in, it was a combination of entities coming into my space, affecting me emotionally, and then also this person out in this truck with this fear in the back of the truck. I believe truly that there are ways of scanning this energy, this frequency coming in, and there are the powers that want to be are, I think, less now than when that happened, but they were very invested in trying to stop that process, which they can't. But the discernment part, I needed help then. I needed support then, and that's where Don and Carol Croft came in for me. But I learned so much, and it does happen, and people are experiencing it all over. And then there's other people who all they want is to have these contact experiences. They're so focused on that, they'll take anything. And that's a dangerous place to be. So start with the self. Start with claiming your space, knowing yourself, and understanding your own energetic potentials. And if these experiences start coming in, don't long for it. But if they start coming in, be discerning, do clearings, and take what resonates for you, because not everything that we're given from these other realms is necessarily beneficial for us in our process. We know best. We know best. And really integrating your higher dimensional self into your experience is protection. Because they're all archetypes of dimensions of ourself, because we're all connected. It's all a unity consciousness. So that's why we send love to clear. We send them to a perfect place of healing. We often ask for different guides and benevolent beings to come in to assist, and it is appropriate to ask for assistance when you need it. But also know that your higher dimensional self, you can connect with that aspect of self, and you are all powerful, and you do have the ability to be empowered enough to say no.
Right. Right. Well, me personally, I had one of my first experiences was actually had the pressing on the chest entity, telling me that I wasn't strong enough. They like to tell you that you can't do it, that's right. Not strong enough to handle whatever they're giving to you.
Yes.
But that's when you reach inside and go, no, you're wrong. I am strong enough. I have the power of the light behind me. I have power I am a divine being.
And we have experienced this. A lot of people maybe have not yet, so it sounds kind of wild and out there, but it is very real, and we just need to stay on top of it if we're going to go down this path together.
Yeah.
And
I believe the majority of the people listening to this show have experienced something or another, and that's why they're listening to these type of shows.
True. I know that probably my family is going to be listening, and I just recently went home for a visit, and I know they're struggling with my choice in life. I know they see that I'm happy, but I think it creates a lot of fear in them because they're still living in the reality of social consciousness. I do not judge them for that. I think they're wonderful people, but I know it is difficult for people who haven't stepped down this path to understand what we're all experiencing, and we can't force it on anybody to understand, nor would I ever want to. But with family and friends who maybe don't understand where we're at, I think that emanating our energy is, instead of maybe with words, and doing it gently, and if they inquire, answering their questions is a good way to go. I think I maybe came on a little bit too strong, really wanting them to understand what goes on here. I think people tend to think cults and this and that, and you all know it couldn't be further from the truth.
Right.
But it is a challenge, and sometimes you just got to share what you can and just know that, like Alex Collier says, the love you withhold is the pain that you carry with you. Don't cut these people out of your life. Instead, give them more love and more of an assurance that what you're doing is really from a place of integrity and compassion, and that you love them, and continue to send that love until maybe at some point, they decide to resonate or explore a little bit with you. And if not, that's okay too. Everybody has a different path and a different journey here. So,
yeah. I wanted to share with you. I told Tom about this. My last night, your morning. I was on the train yesterday, and I teach in different places. So I'll travel to one part of Tokyo or another part of Chiba to teach a class here and there. So I get a lot of time on the train. So what I do is I've been meditating a lot on the train when I meditate.
Nice.
And this being came into my third eye vision, and I see her and she's smiling, and all of a sudden I saw a hand just grab her and just snatch her right out of, and then as soon as I saw that, I was shocked, and I did a clearing. And I was mentioning it to Tom, and Tom was like, "Oh, somebody's doing their job."
Yeah, there's a lot of energy over there, I'm sure, and a lot of souls passing on, and so that clearing work that you're doing over there, Ramon, is so very important. And all the others there, I know Chie and Khan, and we have a lot of friends over there who are holding the space, holding the energy, and I'm really proud of you for staying with that and being there to assist in that healing process, because it's so needed. And we're sending energy from afar, but to be in it and to be able to hold space for others and do healings and clearings for these souls in transit is just incredibly powerful, and I'm grateful for you for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty wild. I mean, we all have, but some pretty wild experiences just being here and meditating in that train, on the train, has been is so much better for me. Like sometimes on my day off, I'll just go ride the train because it's just easier for me to meditate on the train.
Yeah.
Then it was sitting at home in a quiet space. For some reason, the train has just become a lot easier for me.
Amazing, because one of the things that I've really realized lately is, it's great to go to a beautiful place in nature, the perfect place to meditate, where everything's calm and you do your meditation, and then you come back down off the mountain, you go into a city, and it's just blown out, and true mastery is being able to meditate and hold space within the center of that chaos. That's really mastery in many ways, being able to walk it, talk it, live it 24/7, because this is a meditation life, and really I work every day on everything that I do, every breath that I take is a meditation in a way. So you're constantly reminding yourself to stay in awareness and stay present and to stay in that, be the calm in the center of the storm. And it does take discipline to do that, but you're doing that as you're moving through time and space with all these people is really incredible. And that is, that is mastery in many ways. A lot of people are so easily distracted by all the distractions that they can't do that. So I do challenge everyone listening to really try to cultivate that awareness and being in the heart and meditating within the center of social consciousness or cities or chaos, difficult situations, because that is emanating healing energy for everything and everyone around you, to hold that energy in the midst of it all. And that's what it's all about. In so many ways. I do know one thing that I wanted to share that I started at the end of the first hour was one of the things Chris Matsuo shared in a recent meditation video was around holding, we're bringing in energy and we're holding space and we're we're holding life force energy within our body, and then we want to help others or heal others, and so many people will give all that energy away in the name of service and helping others. But the power is in holding 90 and emanating 10% of that energy. That's how you can really be of the greatest, because you really need that energy to nourish the self and stay in awareness and just radiate like a light bulb. Only 10% of that energy does so much, and if you give it all away and you're expending all of this energy and not storing it within the lower dantian or in the body, you will quickly become depleted and lose health and all of that. So really recognize that your own healing is the healing of others. And, it's just something I wanted to convey because it really hit home for me. I think it's something that I sort of understood, but it really clicked for me recently.
That 10%,
not giving it all away. Yeah.
That 10% kind of just, the 10% tithing popped into my head there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So in a sense, it's you're still giving your 10% to God or to the universe, to God as in all the other beings that are with you here.
Yeah. And it's not really, I think, as far as what Chris was explaining, it's not really a giving, it's emanating like a light bulb. And that meditation story I told about Khan, that transmission I received about expanding your energetic field, I felt deeply rooted in it. I felt a part of that energy, and it was radiating outward. And I think that's what that means, is you're completely connecting and allowing that energy to flow through you, and then the emanation of energy is where the healing is at for yourself and for others, and it allows us to continue to become stronger. And that 10% increases in power through that thought or that intention and the way you're managing your energy.
That reminds me, I was going to say, that reminds me of something that Nahi had said when she was up at the ranch before she passed. She was saying, she said, when I was a teenage girl, I would give away my heart. She said, don't give away your heart, because then you have nothing to give love with. She says, give away love, but don't give away the heart. Yeah. And I think so many of us end up doing that because we don't know the difference between giving away your heart and giving love.
Yeah.
So I think the same thing happens, that we're trying to heal somebody or help someone awaken, and we give away everything instead of emanating it.
Yeah, and the giving, it doesn't really work because we can't heal anyone else. We can give promptings, but mostly it's the sharing of energy. And I know that there are some teachers out there who say, don't share your energy. Feel your energy field to, let's say when you're facilitating a class, close off to that energy. And Sifu Jenny, she really reframed that for us in a big way, in that there's nothing more powerful. There's no danger in sharing your energy. Allow those energies to unite, because we are much more powerful collectively as a whole than individually as one. And so it's that emanation and sharing, that radiation, that it's a frequency. And that frequency, all the other frequencies around it start to resonate with that frequency, and so it merges into one.
Yeah. Quantumly, aren't we already sharing our energies and everything?
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, I know that this was in relation to teaching or facilitating classes in some ways, but, what Khan showed me was, I was a little bit too in my own body, going within so deep that you're not necessarily consciously sharing energy and expanding. We may do it automatically anyway, but to keep that in your intention, where you're not pushing it, you're just allowing it to merge into one. And that's what happens during our collective meditations, and, it's just something about that really resonated for me. Some people do feel like, I need to close my energy field to others, and it always be in the protective, defensive mode. And I don't agree that that's the way it needs to be done. I mean, there is a certain level of shielding we all do, And I ask that nothing that is not of my highest and best good come into my energetic field. But even that, I send love and healing energy to it. But it's hard to find the words to sort of, I've never tried to convey that to anyone before, but for me, something clicked within myself that allowed me to emanate freely and allow the energy to mix and share and transform, because it is all frequencies. It is information contained in these frequencies, and it does change the overall frequency that we're experiencing, or the mixed frequencies that we're experiencing. I'm still a bit challenged with how to deal with the psychotronic aspect of things, the harp and all of that. We're targeted here. I do struggle with it. I use Argonite a lot. I work with the elementals and so I do the clearing techniques, but I'm still struggling with sleeplessness, and I know there are a lot of shifting energies come in that cause that as well. You feel so much energy that you can't sleep, but sometimes it does feel like it is weaponry, or and I'm still trying to master how I deal with that, because it is very real, as you guys well know.
Yeah.
So it's not always entities. Sometimes it's entity-driven, but and perhaps someone else that comes on the show can talk a little bit more about that, because it's something I'm still working on myself.
Sure, it's been quite an amazing amount of energy in the last month.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I've really come to the place where I'm like, okay, I'm not sleeping, so I'm going to do my practices or read or, share with people on Facebook or whatever while I'm up. And then I just take the most amazing naps in the middle of the day to help with the sleeplessness. I know that some of our teachers need to sleep very little because their energy is so developed from their practice. I have not reached that place yet. I need 8 hours.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I love sleeping. I have most amazing experiences and teachings in my sleep, going out of body, being taken up in the ship, which is pretty incredible. But the more I focus on sort of my dream yoga, the more amazing it gets. I know last night Bob Dean was teaching me all night long. I really have, my heart is just, it resonates for him. He's just so amazing, and he was teaching me and showing me all kinds of amazing things in my dream last night. And so I love sleeping because it's a doorway into, that's where we heal and recharge, and I haven't reached that place where I don't have the need for my sleep, and I like sleeping. But yeah, it is interrupted sometimes. But we just kind of go on. We can't get too upset or fearful about it, and you just deal with it and keep it moving. It's all opportunities to learn, and I'm sure I have a lot to learn there about how to navigate through that, because we are so targeted here. I do find that any kind of wireless internet or anything like that, I can't sleep with that energy coming in. So, but we have spaces on the property here. We can go sleep to get away from it, or we turn it off at night. We're thinking about getting rid of it altogether, and we all deal with this. It's all around us, and I refuse to be in the state of fear around it. I want to be able to adapt and adjust no matter where I am, and no matter what's happening. And so that's why I say I'm a work in progress, And it's through sharing with people like you and everyone else that we're all communicating with that I develop more mastery in dealing with these kinds of things. Because this is all, honestly, all of it's very new for me. It's been, 2.5 years now, almost 3 years that I've been here at the ranch, and leaps and bounds. I feel I've grown, but that's why I say the more I learn, the less I feel like I know.
Right.
But I don't worry about that too much. I just I want to continue to share and allow my growth to take me where it may. But there are certain things that I do have the intention of mastering so that I can be of better service to the people who come here to the ranch, and to myself and my own health and wellness. And there's lots of supplements and things that I take to feel better. We use a multi-wave oscillator here, Rife Technologies, ionic foot baths I can't recommend enough to deal with the whole chemtrail thing. natural calm tea to help flushing the heavy metals out of the body. And I really feel that this era of all of this is quickly coming to pass. I mean, we're moving through it. And I say don't give up 5 minutes before the finish line. Things seem really intense right now, but it's just all part of the process. And they will not be successful in continuing this program. So, and this is just one reality, one-dimensional reality we're experiencing, but it's a very important one. And what we're doing is an important aspect of our evolution, together into this new energetic alignment we're moving into. So, which is happening now.
Yep, I saw that. I saw the whole Japan thing. It's the rising sun of the new day.
Yeah.
And their flag's the rising sun.
Yep. And just when things seem that it's just there's so much to take, I think things are shifting. People are becoming more empowered, and they're realizing that this won't and cannot continue. And we all need to sort of play our role in this 3D reality and speak up and share information, but also keep the bigger picture in mind is we have to transcend this matrix. We will change it, but this whole evolution is playing out on multiple levels. And it's very exciting if you look at it in the right way.
Yep.
But it's so easy to get sucked into all these news stories, and I know in the last few weeks I have slipped into that from time to time, of wanting to get the word out and wanting to tell people what we're learning about what's going on. But a lot of it's disinformation. Some of it resonates true. I do like to stay informed, but I need to pull back from being too immersed
Agreed.
in the news aspect of things. So,
yeah. I was telling Tom that I actually, for almost 2 weeks now, I've kind of shut down, and the only information I get when it comes to those things is whatever my wife tells me, and she knows that she only tells me the most important things.
Yeah.
But I've shut down because I was really, the second day after the earthquake here, I was really feeling it was really affecting me, and not so much what was happening, but the way it was being presented. It was just, it was like the little fly in your ear consistently.
Yeah, the same fear mongering over and over and over.
Oh man, and I mean, now I understand why so many people back home were worried about me here, because when I looked at the news over there, I was like, oh my God, what's happening here? Right.
And, let's be honest, there are some very real threats going on, and we want you safe, Ramon, and everyone else that's over there, and us, and we want to know. I want to stay informed, but it's very difficult to find that balance between being informed and staying focused on the higher messages here.
You bring up a good point. It was something I was talking to a student of mine. As you know, I teach English here, and he was saying, "Oh, I think Japanese people are too optimistic," and I was like, "No, that's not optimism." I said, "There's a very fine line between optimism and ignorance. The car is coming towards you. Don't say, oh, the car would turn right before it hits me. No, get out of the road. That's not optimism. That's ignorance."
Yeah.
So I think that many people confuse the two.
Yeah, and there's also a difference between optimism and being too passive, or being having apathy around something, because that is how a lot of what has happened has come into play. Is people have been full of apathy around it, not caring about others, or as long as it's not happening in my backyard, then it's not real. That is not okay either, because we are all connected, and we do need to have true compassion and caring for others and try to help. And part of that is by using our voice and being informed, but in a peaceful way, and staying optimistic and knowing that we will prevail. However, we can't just lay down or go hide in a cave somewhere and just meditate on love and light. Although for some, that may be their path, and that is all that they need to do. For me, I feel like there needs to be a balance between the two, because people need to get the real information to wake up. But once you're awake and you sort of know what's going on, check in once in a while, but you don't need to focus too much on going over the same information over and over and over again, because it will take you off of your path if you get sucked into the fear machine.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
For many people, when they first get into this, I remember being at ECETI, and there was a gentleman from Puerto Rico, and we were talking, and he was really stuck on trying to wake up everybody else and fix the world. And I was like, the most important thing is you need to fix yourself, because you're not there yet. And he kind of stepped back and took to offense, and I said, if you were there yet, then you wouldn't feel this way. And I said, and I'm not saying I am there yet either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once we all get there, then we've moved through it, and we're in another sort of space of awareness. We're done with this phase once we get there, if there is a there. But yeah, it is true. There are so many people, especially that come here, that are really, they think that their role is just to get everybody awake, and they want to force it on people. And it's got to be what that individual is ready for. And some people, their role here, with everything, there's yin and yang, there's dark and light, and it's all one. There's no separating it. And we need these events and these forces to show us. It's leading us through a process of awakening, and you need to have both sides of the coin in motion in order for this transformation to take place. So everybody's got a different role to play, and there is no such thing as the end of anything. So it just transforms into something else. But you cannot create or destroy energy. It just is. You can transform it. Alchemy. But I've learned a lot about, especially after going home to see my family, about I love them. So I really wanted to share it, but finding a gentler way, because some people, you shock their reality, and it forces them to pull back and retreat to the point they aren't even open. So it's actually doing a disservice to others by forcing some of this information on people. So be gentle.
Yeah,
and
you don't want to give an answer without a question.
Yeah, if they ask or inquire, then open up and share, but measure that sharing and that response with what you're feeling from them, what they can receive at the time, and then they can create their own experiences to have a knowing. Because there's a big difference between believing and knowing, and I don't want to believe, like Mel Fabregat says. I want to know.
Well, it takes a certain to be able to put yourself in the situation to have the experience in something.
Mm.
That leap of faith. There's a little bit of a leap of faith to suspend the doubt. In some situations, you have to suspend that doubt to be able to allow the experience to happen.
Yeah, and I do think that there's a frequency that is truth that speaks the volumes, and the frequency of truth is in everyone's hearts. So if they are open, doubt may be there. I even had doubt, even after being here, as I shared with you earlier, at times. But the knowing of the experiences that I created for myself resonated truth. And that's where the transformation took place. Somebody could tell me about an experience, just like you listened to me tell that story. Oh, okay, that's an interesting story. I don't know if I believe it or not. And I don't expect anybody to look at a photo or a video or hear my story and believe it. But it may resonate some frequency of truth within them that allows them to create their own experiences of awakening for what they need, because no one knows what another person needs for completion or for evolution. And truth resonates more than anything else. And I think that in people's hearts, they know. And if somebody's not in alignment with their heart, perhaps they have a different role to play here, or they have their own path to follow to get there. And who am I to say what that person needs? And so that mutual respect, where you still respect others who don't share the same knowledge or wisdom or viewpoints about things, but try to respect where they are and understand that that is their journey, and that is their role to play, and they need to decide how it's going to evolve and play out. And it's difficult sometimes when you're sitting there listening to somebody and you can hear and see that they're just completely asleep, that they're not getting it, and it's really easy to shout it from the rooftops, to wake up. But that's not really our role. It's more of a emanation, and it's a sharing of energy when they ask or inquire. But that intention to heal or intention to awaken is a key ingredient for people to have or possess to really go through this process. And it's challenging. It's challenging because we get frustrated sometimes because we're so passionate about it that we want to share it, and that pulling back and that gentleness and being loving and gentle and emanating and really respecting people's truths, even if it is very different than your own, is important, I think.
Yeah, I think Kurt Nugent best put it when he says that a lot of those people are there for a contrast.
Yeah.
And there was for example, there was an example of a video I showed Tom, and the video really showed me that I had a lot of work to do. It's a YouTube video, and it's a guy on one train in New York City, and he's yelling some very negative things to this other guy, and pretty much inviting him to fight. But the other guy is just saying, "Yeah, you're right," just agreeing with him. "Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I know that." And the guy is like, "Oh, but I'm so and so and da 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 da." And the other guy, what was amazing about it, because in one aspect of the video is so negative, and so you could feel all these entities around this guy. But on the other aspect, the guy was so patient that I realized, I was like, wow, if I was in that situation, I would have lost it. And I realized that I still have a lot of work to do when it comes to those anger issues.
Right, yeah. And, we all do. There are certain things that trigger us, and when you do get triggered, that's an opportunity to look at that like you experienced, and it gives you another area to really focus on to evolve or let go of whatever needs to be let go of there. And I think we all work at that, that's a beautiful, beautiful example. And it is, if you can stay in that calm, peaceful space, the calm in the center of the storm, and you can send love and support, respect at least what they're saying, maybe not respect, but not reject and judge. Amazing things can happen, and it is more powerful. I'd like to study more the art of war and a lot of those philosophies, because really understanding how to work with energy like that. And it is a war in a way. That's why I consider myself a etheric warrior a la Don Croft, because I love the idea that the way we fight our battles or continue this journey is energetically, and there are different ways to approach that, but it's all love-based. And there's nothing that was ever solved through aggression or pushing up against energy. You flow with it and let it flow right out.
I think there's been in this century, last century actually, I keep getting those two confused. Last century there were some prime examples of that, of people like Gandhi is one of my heroes, because here you have broken glasses, bad teeth, no shoes, and was able to change India with no army. I mean, you can't have a bigger prime example than somebody like him.
Yeah, and that's a great example of sort of the microcosm and the macrocosm. I mean, all of us together can change anything through a peaceful approach. We still hold our space, but together we can create change peacefully through demonstrating love and also speaking up. And that's the same thing that happens within, sort of how we need to approach our own evolution and the challenges we face. And together as human beings here together, it's very powerful, and it can make a big difference. And those are the greatest life experiences, to be a part of something like that. It's empowering. you know, and I think that's what's happening all over the world right now. All of these events are really helping people to question what is important to them and how they want to live their lives. And they want to speak out, and they want to do it peacefully. And they want to hold their space.
So, Pam, you're familiar with the 100 monkey effect, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we are experiencing the 100th monkey effect going on with consciousness in the world?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what's happening right now in the world, it's happening so fast that, I mean, I don't even know what to say about that because I don't know. I'm speechless.
Well, I kind of see it as like, I kind of have a picture in my mind of a certain level of consciousness that I'm basing my 100th monkey on, and I kind of see it as at about 95%.
Mm-hmm.
As far as just from my personal viewpoint on what I see out in the world and what I see on the internet and what I feel, is I feel right on the edge of a big consciousness shift.
Yeah.
I feel there's different aspects of the how can I? Wow, we're really lacking words this show.
I know what's going on right now. Do another clearing, quick. My mind is scrambled.
There's really I feel like we reached the 100 monkey in one aspect, and in other aspects we haven't. Like, okay, what's really important? I feel like we reach that 100 monkey. I'm feeling a
kind of a blasting open of natural abilities that have been dormant for ages and ages and ages. Is the consciousness that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The psychic connection, the spiritual connection between the knowing of the spiritual connection, the unity connection between all of us is the 100th monkey that I'm feeling.
And for me, what I feel is that this galactic alignment that we're moving into, a lot of people, the 2012 thing, which there is a galactic alignment happening where we are moving into an energetic field where these frequencies are increasing at an exponential rate, and it is shifting our DNA, and it is shifting our ideas of self and what our abilities are, and we are changing, we are evolving at a very rapid rate. And as we move into this alignment that's taking place, it will continue. I mean, we're all feeling these frequencies come in, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. There's a lot of symptoms that go along with this shift. And so there are very solid scientific reasons. If you look at this in that way, where this is happening, and these energies and frequencies, there are people out there who are doing this work, and they're seeing different frequencies coming in, energies coming in, and we are aligning with the galactic center, and it is changing us. And I think that has a lot to do with what's happening. There's a cycle taking place.
Yep.
One of the things that makes it real, very real for me, especially with the meditation and the personal work that we all do, was I remember someone had who mentioned it. It was either Richard or Son mentioned it to me the first time I went to ESETI about the shape of your head changing, and then
I've seen that in people, yeah.
I've seen it in myself, and then what made it really real was even my wife started to notice, like several months after I started, it was almost 2 years ago, started practicing all these different things, and even to the point where other people that don't know me say, "Oh wow, you have the I forgot what he called it."
An opening of the crown?
Yeah, no, he called it something else, but pretty much saying the same thing, like the monk bump or something like that.
Yep, the monk bump. And actually, sometimes even it opens up enough to where you'll start to have some fluid coming out of that. I've seen that in people before. I haven't had that experience, but I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, and
all that sweat.
Yeah, it's an opening. I think it's an opening of the crown in order to, as these energies coming in, it's shifting the brain function, brain activity, and energies coming in, and it's opening up the channel, the crown channel, so that you can receive that energy. And as it continues to come in, that evolution speeds up, I think, and we physically transform. I know one of the things that's happened for me since coming here and working with these practices is as the energies continue to come in, I see very distinct physical changes in myself that I feel younger. I feel more vibrant. I look younger than I did before I came here, and it's an evolution of aligning with these energies, and it actually changes our DNA and the cells in our body. And, we teach several meditations here on working with those energies at the cellular level, at the DNA level. And it's a natural byproduct of these practices. It's evolution. Because we are here in these bodies right now, but we're definitely much more. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this all unfolds, the unfolding
blossoms,
progress. Yeah.
Bringing it back to Khan. I was really paying attention to the shape of his head, and of course, everybody has a different shaped head, but his frontal lobes are very distinguished compared to most people you see. And my wife was the first one to mention it because, she was like paying a lot of attention to my head, and she looked at. I know that sounds wrong, but she looked at Khan, and she mentioned about his frontal lobes and even his temples, how like they were very wide and thick.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice opening. You've got some nice frontal lobes.
Yeah, and that's the physical embodiment of this evolution that I find so fascinating. It's just amazing how we can transform ourselves through opening to these energies, and it changes us on the cellular level, and it changes our physicality in so many ways. And that's, I think, a lot of how the healing, self-healing happens is we gain mastery over these energies, and we gain awareness. We understand how to work at the cellular level to evolve and heal ourselves. And we can do that consciously with intent, if we just give it a shot. Just try. If there's something that you're working on healing, really connect. I know just recently I was having some pain in my foot. I thought I had plantar fasciitis, and I started studying the Chinese medicine acupuncture meridian lines. I found the exact point where I had an energetic block, and I've been working. I asked for some advice from friends on Facebook and in what I was experiencing, and they reminded me of what I already know. Go back to your resources. And so I've been working on that, and I've completely healed it. And it was something that was really intense. It was really bothering me. It was affecting me there for a few days, and working at that cellular level energetically and allowing this life force energy to really come in, and we can heal ourselves. And all we need to do is give it a try, and really have the intent to do that. And we're more powerful than we know.
Yeah.
And it's 11:11 here. Yay!
Your way open.
I just looked at it. 11:11. Oh wow.
Love that. Yeah. Have you guys all been doing the 11:11 thing for years? I have, since way before all of this.
I've got other numbers that keep popping in my life. Yeah. I see the 11:11 occasionally, but the 2s and 9s are mine.
Oh wow.
2s and 9s and 11s, single 11s.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's been more recent with me. The whole 111 or 11:11:11. I mean 11:11. That's been more recent, like late last year and this year.
Yeah, I started doing that in like 91, and I didn't have any idea what it was, but I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then later, I think probably 97 or so, Art Bell had a show on it. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, Art Bell definitely played a big role for me in the 90s, for sure, in helping a lot of people. He called it the quickening, and I think he was right. It was fun listening to his shows.
Yeah. I know...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say now, there's just so many resources for information of great people to listen to for different aspects of things. I'm especially enjoying like Max Egan lately, and a lot of different people. There's just so much out there where I don't even really turn to shows like Coast to Coast anymore. It's kind of interesting, the alternative media, including what you guys are doing, and all of these different radio shows and videos. There's a lot of information out there, and but one word of caution for myself and for others is not to get too sucked into looking at external information and making sure you're disconnecting from the matrix, to take time, because you have all that information within,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying that to a friend of mine the other day. I was like, you need to step back sometimes, because I'll see him on Facebook and he's just posting all this information he's finding. I'm like, dude, take a break. You're going to make yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Sit under a tree, Yeah.
So
Pam, go ahead, Tom.
We're at an hour 10 in the second segment here, so figure we'll give you an opportunity to we'll put the ESETI out there again and let you stand on your
final words.
Stand on your soapbox for a couple minutes and leave us with something profound.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank both of you for what you're doing, for having me on the show. It's just so inspiring to see you guys going out there and sharing this great information and getting awesome guests. I love listening to your show. And I want to thank everybody out there who's been supporting you guys and ESETI and all the other people who are really trying to share these messages about who we really are and where we're headed. And it's a very exciting time to be here. And I'm just full of gratitude at everything that's happening right now. And I can't thank you both enough. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you very much for making the time to come. Oh, by the way, are you cooking tonight?
No, Steph's cooking tonight. I got the night off.
If you don't know, Pam's actually a really good cook, being in the cooking business for a long time, right, Pam?
Yeah, I love cooking and feeding people. I always have. It's been one of my passions, and to be able to do that up here at the ranch has been really fun, especially when we have our own food that we grow, and it's just great. It's definitely an important part of life for me. I call it the trifecta of life: food, friends, and spirits. Sharing those experiences through a good meal, I think, is just an amazing part of being a human being.
Yeah, I look forward to going up there and cooking and eating and stuff.
Oh, you're a good cook too, Ramon. I remember you were cooking up here.
Yeah, I always tease and I say that's the only reason why my wife sticks with me. All right. Any closing words, Tom?
Well, I just want to remind everybody to try to keep a positive outlook on life. I mean, things are really turning for the better here in our world. Even though when you look out, it might not look that way especially if you're paying attention to Western media. It definitely doesn't look that way. But turn off the TV.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, listen. Go talk to someone. Go talk to a friend. Get some communication going. I mean, that's the best way to resolve any of your issues that anybody has out in the world right now. Talk about it.
And meditate.
Yes, absolutely.
One of the things I always tell my friends and my family is like, what good news have you heard today? And I've always been persistent on that, and they've now, some of them gotten used to bringing up good news, and it's like, oh, good. So once you start doing that, you start seeing things connect.
The beauty in the world.
Yeah, instead of seeing all this ugly and nonsense that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to say, don't give up 5 minutes before the finish line.
There you go. I like that line. Okay.
Well, thanks so much, you guys.
Well, thank you, Pam. And
have a good night, everyone, or good morning, wherever you're listening from.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you guys here at the ranch sometime soon.
I will definitely be there.
Okay, big love.
Condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance. I love it, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Good night.